Welcome to Netwitness 12.4 New Features Training. In this video, we will discuss Respond MITRE integration with Netwitness feature. If Analyst wants to do some deeper threat analysis and look for some help from MITRE attack framework to identify and prioritize the most relevant threats and develop effective countermeasures. In older versions, analysts had no way to know which ESA/APP rule maps to which MITRE tactics/techniques/countermeasures, and so the alerts and incidents analysis is difficult with MITRE. And the analyst had to copy the existing MITRE feed meta and move away for Netwitness UI and open the MITRE web page separately to know more about MITRE Tactic and MITRE Technique. In 12.4 version, Analyst now will be equipped with MITRE Tactic and Technique within Netwitness UI. For example, on alerts and incidents for out-of-the-box ESA and APP rules, to continue his or her threat analysis. Analyst now can also look into existing MITRE feed within Netwitness UI. Analyst now can create, edit the new or existing Custom App and ESA rules to map them to relevant tactic and technique. We can start with the CCM page, Content Library. If you go to the Applications Rules and filter it by Live Content, we'll see that we have added it to new attributes to each of the content called Tactic and Technique, which can be seen with the details here. This is a live content, which means we have added predefined attack tactic and technique already into the live data, and that's what we are seeing here. But if you go to the content, we will see that out-of-the-box technique that's been already mapped to each rule of the content for the out-of-the-box. If you want to create the custom rule, you will find this panel as is already there for the last 2 or 3 releases. So what is new here? It is this new option called MITRE Attack Tactics, so user can select the tactic and technique relevant to this custom rules that they're creating both on ESA rule and application rules, and they can create the data. Important note, these 2 fields are optional fields. If you are not interested in MITRE data, you can skip this part. Let me go with the same flow of filtering with the ESA rule. If you go here, we'll see the lot of data about tactic and technique. These are ESA rules. As you can see here, we added some custom user rule here and multiple attributes. Important to note here is the color theme. For each of the tactic and their child technique, both will be having the same coloring added to that tactic and technique, and this helps in the analyst to visualize the tactic and technique. Adding to this, when clicking on a tactic or technique, we will see a pretty new window called as Attack Explorer. That's been introduced in 12.4, which will give us more details about the tactic. So for example, when I clicked on Command and Control Tactic, I get more information about the tactic here and also see what is the technique that is aligned with this particular content. If I click on a technique name, I get it more details about the technique. And then if I click on the sub-technique name, I get more details as well. For example, we'll be able to look into the data in our user interface without going to the different web page, so analysts can utilize this during the investigation. Also in technique, we added mitigation procedures in the same window. However, if you still want more details about the technique, then we also added a redirection link which will redirect you to the MITRE website. But there is no need to do so, as all the information will be available in the platform. Once there is alerts, rules are created. If there is an event matching those rules, we'll have obviously an alert in the Alert Panel Respond tab. So here we have multiple different alerts that was created earlier. We have introduced a new column in the Alerts and Incidents panel so that they get more visibility of the thread that is a front in their UI. They can also view more data here. If they clicked on the overview, they'll be able to see more data about tactics and techniques here, and the same workflow will continue where they can click on the tactic name and get more details about it if they want, from redirection link and switching over between different tactics. So analysts now can view more details about tactics and techniques, and they can view different technique within that panels. So as a result, an ease of use has been introduced as part of this feature from the threat analysis, as you can view all of these additional details from our UI. We also introduced the filtering capability to further fine-tune the investigation accordance with the MITRE tactic and techniques. Also, we'll have the data about the tactic and technique now added to the incidents. Since incidents are basically a group of alerts all the alerts which have Tactic and Technique data will be mapped to their respective. For example, in this case we will have the Tactic and Technique part of those 28 alerts, right? So whatever 28 alerts are having in the Tactic and Technique, all of them will be added to this incident. Also, filtering being added in this same panel here. For example, if I take the reconnaissance, we'll see that it's been filtered and another filtering is done on the bottom panels. Not just that, we also have an option to go to more actions and create a report. Let's have a look at the report. So these two fields for Tactic and Technique are not only added into reporting, but even in the incident export also we have added those data. So basically, whenever analysts wants to take the dump of their alerts and incidents, these two new fields also will be part of that dump. Also, when you create a new incident you have the option as well to add tactic information, and if there is a corresponding alert that was created it will be added as well. So this back workflow has been introduced, one workflow from alert to the incident and incident to alert, both added from this place. And as you can see here we have a new option introducing creating future alert, which is basically creating an app rule. We also have enhanced this dialog box to have that additional information about Tactic and Technique that can be added. If we go back to the app rule and filter with the custom data, we will find the app rule that we just created, and it will include Tactic and Technique information we added. Finally, if we take a look here, we already have an attack meta. That's been there for quite a long while now. If the analyst knows that this is an execution tactic, but he doesn't get more information on top of this, so earlier all he has to do is copy this execution tactic name and go to the MITRE website. But to enhance that workflow, all they have to do now is to just open this context lookup and invoke a new option called MITRE lookup, which will show up data about the execution. That because that data set is now available within the UI. So investigation can continue on the Netwitness user interface compared to the earlier version of moving from Netwitness UI to the different MITRE website. So investigation can continue on the Netwitness user interface compared to the earlier version of moving from Netwitness UI to the different MITRE website, which will save the analysts time and help them to be more effective within their investigation. Thank you.